Welcome to Talking Models. Today, we're going to highlight an artist over in England. His name is John Harding. And this is one of his sculpts. And that's what we're going to take a look at today. I've come to know John through the hobby boards and conversations through Messenger. He's a great guy. And this was something he had sculpted a few years ago. And I just want you to take a look at it. And it's available now. You can get it through him. So let's take a look at this beautiful piece. You can see you get a plaque. You've got tombstones on here. You've got a cross and a skull. You've got the Aurora symbol on the top. You've got the monsters. You have the Wolfman, the Mummy, Dracula, the creature from the Black Lagoon, and Frankenstein, the monster. On the bottom, it says Monster Model Kits, and it's just beautifully done. Now, John sculpted the base itself, if you will, and the monster heads were provided by Mark Worthling, and it just is a great addition to this plaque, while being a tribute to the Aurora model kits of days gone by. It's a beautiful piece. And I happened to see it because Mike Calvert shared a post that he had received this plaque from John, and I was intrigued. So I reached out to John, and boom, here it is. I want to give you a little bit of a short bio on John. John is currently going through chemotherapy for cancer, and he's been in good spirits in our conversations. I've told John that I'm praying for healing for him, and I pray for him every day. And I'm hoping that this number one enemy in the world, it's not COVID-19, guys, it's cancer. And I'm just hoping that John beats this. John has been in the hobby for many years. Him and his wife there over across the pond are dealing with this on a daily basis, going to chemotherapy, and looking for this chemotherapy to rid him of this cancer. So I'm going to read a little short bio that John sent me, and take a listen. You can see that he's been around in this hobby for a little while. John had always made models since the age of 7. Starting with airfix planes and tanks. He was introduced to the Aurora monster kits when his mom bought him a Frankenstein. He recalls they were more expensive than the British kits due to having to be imported, so he only got them on his birthdays and Christmas. In about 1969, John got into model soldiers and discovered that he had discovered an unknown talent for figure painting. John went to art school and gave up the hobby for a few years until he discovered Conan the Barbarian comics and soon started to paint and collect the pewter figures based on the genre. In 1992, his first business folded and his mom died. He was in a tough spot and bored. One day he took a trip to the attic and found 4 original Aurora monster kits and immediately started to assemble and paint them. He then discovered resin kits after picking up a copy of Model and Collector's Mart. He was amazed by these resin kits, which reminded him of the old Aurora kits, but so much better. He couldn't afford them at the time, but he found the Halcyon styrene kits were within his budget. He soon picked up some Alien and Predator kits, and since they were styrene, they were second nature to him. John decided to try his hand at sculpting in 1993 and began sculpting some kits, and he began to progress in his sculpting skills until present day. Today, John has a large collection of styrene, vinyl, and resin kits, as well as his original sculpt he's done using Super Sculpey or Milliput. The Aurora tribute plaque grew from a coffee cup graphic that he produced with the plan of getting them printed. That didn't happen. But he did do this resin plaque. It took him a couple of months to complete, and he had a good friend of his mold it for him, and he started casting them up for the fans of Aurora. Well, I'm a fan of Aurora, John, and I'm glad you cast these things up, and I'm proud to have one of these in my collection. Now, it did come with a couple other things that John sent me. You get a nice Aurora decal. Boom. And I got a couple Aurora pins that John sent me. Now, if you get one of these kits from him, you may not get those pins. He included them for me because he's a good guy. And I appreciate those, John. But again, if you get a chance, just look at this thing. It's beautiful, and it's heavy. It's got some weight to it. It's got a nice smooth back, and you can easily pop in a nail here, hang it up, and you'll have something that reminds you of maybe why you got into this hobby, Aurora model kits. And this is just beautiful. This, I just put it on a stand for the video, but you can see you can also do that with it. And either way, it's a winner. So if you get a minute and you believe in the power of prayer like myself, add John and his wife to your daily prayers. Pray for healing. Pray for his strength. And just pray for his wife to be able to care for him as he goes through chemotherapy. And if you're not a praying person, send some positive thoughts across the pond to John and his wife. And just let them know that you're thinking about them. I'll have John's email in the description of this video. And also you can support John by maybe picking up one of these plaques from him. What a great way to support a sculptor in this hobby. You know, without sculptors, guys and girls, we don't have this hobby, do we? Without sculptors, we don't have nothing to build and paint. We would all be doing styrene kits and maybe some old vinyls that we picked up or whatever. But with sculptors, it opens up a whole new world of model kits for us collectors and painters. So reach out to John, support him, and pick yourself up one of these beautiful plaques. So I appreciate you stopping in today for this episode of On Talking Models, as we highlighted John Harding and his Aurora Monster plaque. It's a goodie. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, hit that subscribe button and join the family. And I'm hoping to do more videos like this down the road, just highlighting some sculptors and their work, and maybe even doing an interview with them, and we'll see what happens. But again, thank you for stopping in today to Talking Models, and as always, may the Lord bless your day.